Hello and thank you all for joining me on another video. We're here in Duskwood today. I actually really enjoy this zone. It's a little bit like Red Ridge in the fact that you have to kill so many mobs, but I prefer the aesthetic.
Well met.
If you can hear some stuff in the background, I forgot to mute my microphone while I was recording this. I usually turn it down a bit so you might not be able to hear it over my voice, but if you can, that's what that is.
Safe travels.
What can I do for you for the Alliance?
And then I turn it off here, I noticed it. I was surprised by how populated Darkshire was. I guess it's to be expected since I'm playing on a roleplay server. But there was a lot more, like there's not very many people here right now. But later on in the video, I can't remember if I left it in or not, the streets are just filled with people. And I returned here on a Sunday to get a photo for the thumbnail. And it was just, you couldn't walk anywhere without running into anybody. Here's an example of what I'm talking about, similarities between this and Red Ridge. You know, kill 12 dire wolves, 5 wolf stakes, dusky lumps from spiders. And it goes by quick. I actually struggled to cut out a lot of things just because it was constant combat. There was not much travel. I do think Duskwood is one of the better zones in the game. Just thematically, it's just so cool. It's so cool. I used to love spending a lot of time here when I was a kid. I believe next is going to be Stranglethorn, which will be exciting to figure that out, because Stranglethorn is so long. It's so long. A lot of these zones down in the south here just take forever. It's a cool zone, though. It's going to be separated between Northern and Cape, just like the achievements are, but very similar zones. I have toyed with the idea of going after the Insane achievement and title, just for the sake of completion. It's going to take a long time to get, well, a while to get. I don't know about a long time. I've heard it's easier nowadays. I think I have to make a rogue for lockboxes. I don't entirely understand that. I'll have to look up a guide or something. I basically did everything I could to speed up these kill quests. You know, move in the direction of other monsters, multi-pull, cleave them down. So it made it take not too long. Like, this zone only took about an hour and 9 minutes, I believe, to get through. Just 'cause it's constant. You complete a bunch of quests, you run back, turn them in. It's great. I mean, honestly, it's not bad. Red Ridge has its problems. This is basically Red Ridge, but with like the problems lessened, because all the turn-ins are right there. You turn them in, you go back out, and you have like 3 to 4 quests on you. I did end up figuring out how the level scaling works. So once I hit level 35, all the monsters are going to turn gray, which I didn't. I thought it would happen at level 30, but no, it's 35. So I believe after the Stranglethorn episode, that'll be the last time you see me having to employ these kind of tactics, because I'll basically be able to kill everything immediately, and also be able to fly. This week is gonna be kind of crazy. Trial of the Crusader is launching. Gives you a time frame of when this is being coming out.
Hey there. See you around. King's honor, friend.
I need to make sure the guild is ready to go there. We're using That's My Abyss again, and some people haven't put their stuff in yet. That's fine. I'm not gonna bother them until tomorrow. I think it'll be fine though. I've heard varying things. Some people think it's gonna be hard. Some people think it's not gonna be. I think we're just gonna do normal to start off with, so we get used to the bosses, and then, you know, go into heroic the next week. I always consider the week after a raid release to be the true first week, just because it comes out on Thursdays, and we raid Tuesday, Thursday, and I hate that it comes out on Thursdays. I guess if I was to have one issue with the quests in Duskwood, it would just be how many zombies you have to kill. You know, there's just so many quests involving killing zombies and skeletons. I mean, I guess that's the whole idea of the zone. You know, it's like a haunted wood, cursed. But yeah, with TOC, I'm hoping it goes by quick, because I don't want another 3 months of Old War, to be completely honest with you. I hope TOC comes out maybe a couple months, 2 months at most, and then ICC comes out, because I'm ready to be done with it. Maybe I think about 2 months is enough time for everybody to get their tier and moved on, I hope. I am excited for Hardcore Classic. I'm happy they decided not to follow all the rules that were put in place by the add-on. I know those limitations were there because it wasn't like the official server, but I'm happy they went away from that, because like being able to party with people, being able to use the auction house, all incredibly important things for World of Warcraft, and not being able to do that stuff as a hardcore player, it just sucks. And the amount of time, like on my WoW Classic long play video, I've tried to get people to group with me to kill elite monsters, and a lot of them are hardcore players, and you just can't get them to join because, you know, it invalidates their run. That is what it is. Hopefully that will become less of an issue once the hardcore servers launch. I'm really enjoying that too. I don't think they perform as well as my completion videos, but I find just the relaxing nature of it really nice. And there's no editing. Well, there's barely any editing. You know, I record a little snippet of wherever I am at the time, people walking by. I try to make that look really pretty, and then that fades into the main video and then fades out to being in the tavern, you know, just eating after a long day of walking or adventuring. Walking in the case of the most recent video, the Wetlands run. That wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's still crazy that it takes like 40 minutes to actually get where you need to go. Like that's, I have never put it into a time scale, but 40 minutes to get where you're needing to go is just absolutely insane. But it was fun. And whenever I was in the Wetlands, I was so stressed out. I don't know if you watched it or if you go watch it. It's kind of the long play videos are kind of videos you just put on when you're trying to sleep or relax. I don't expect anyone to like actively watch them, Sometimes there are some moments. Sometimes I talk to people and they're funny and I just leave it in there, of course, because I don't edit anything out. But when I was in the wetlands, you'll see me just pan around. I was like hallucinating the sounds of people fighting. Just because I was so afraid I was gonna get just zapped.
You need something?
Or a crocodile was gonna come out of the river and just kick my ass. It was definitely an experience. See, I can't decide. I think I know what I'm gonna do, but I can't decide. So I'm going about this sort of in a way where I complete the zone, and if there's a dungeon to do in the zone, I'm gonna go back and do it. And that's what I have done. I have gotten to level 35 already, and I've been to Storm and Stockades, I've been to Nomergon, and the Dead Mines. And it's been giving me some cool loot. But I have such a draw to Molten Core, knowing that I can finally do Molten Core and all the other dungeons. And questing is going to take so long to get through. I don't know, if it takes me about an hour per zone, and there's, what did I say, 32? I really can't remember. That may change if I realize there's more. Not really certain. It's only 32 hours played, but I'm not doing a zone every single day, or multiple zones every single day. Just because the recording, takes up like 50 to 100 gigabytes, so I can really only record maybe 4 or 5 zones in advance, and then I spend the rest of the time sort of cleaning up with my professions, just doing a bunch of side stuff. But yeah, I really want to get in Molten Core and get that Molten Core gear, especially since there's reputation that you have to farm in Molten Core in some of the other dungeons and raids. I thought this was cool, where you turn into a werewolf or a worgen. I wish I would have gotten mining and blacksmithing for just questing by now. I have it now, so I'll be able to use it as we go forward in other zones. I'll probably cut it out, to be honest with you there. Maybe at some point, I'll make a video of me fishing or mining, just talking over it for fun. If I have nothing else to do. And nothing else in the game, I mean. But there's always something to do, to be honest.
How are you? Safe travel.
There was one quest here that sort of surprised me. I had forgotten about it. It's the Stitches quest. I didn't realize it phased. Well, I guess I remember now, but I didn't realize at the time that it would have phased Darkshire and caused Stitches to just come out and just the whole place is burning. I wish I would have taken a screenshot there. I totally would have used it for the thumbnail, but I didn't think about it. Maybe I'll make a level 10 character, bring him here just to do it. I doubt it, though. Yeah, that's just incredibly disgusting. I think he's throwing up on me. Oh, foul breath. It's so gross. It's a weird weird ability to give to an almost sentient creature. He's just intentionally breathing on you. It's gross.
What can I do for you? Let the light of the new moon guide you.
Here it cuts to the next day, I believe, and this is one of my favorite areas. In oh, I'm sorry, I got a little confused. This is one of my least favorite areas in Duskwood. I don't know. I think it's just by this point, I'm just tired of fighting stuff in farms. I do think this rare mob is kind of funny, though. I see him pretty much every single time I come here. But I like his silly head. It's not like it's not over quick. Didn't realize I even finished it that fast. Ended up pulling an extra mob.
We've been walled up for far too long.
Just like that, all done. And now we're on to my actual favorite part, the part that I thought we were on but got confused. The ogres. I don't know, the ogres have always had a special place in my heart. Because when I was a kid, the ogres, even though they weren't that high level technically, I never got there. So this was the height that I knew. I didn't even know raids existed. I just saw ogres, and I always got killed by them, and I always thought their places looked really cool and really tough. So I always just fantasized about finally making it to be able to do quests against ogres. And here I am today. I've done many quests against ogres. And in fact, in WoD, we did a lot of quests against ogres. This guy's taking a little bit to kill. I was a WoW fanatic back when I was a little kid. Absolutely insane for it. My mom didn't like me playing it because she didn't like me talking about like killing stuff for quests and things like that. But it's probably a good thing they pulled me off of it, because like I wouldn't even get up to eat when I was like 6 years old, you know. I just wanted to keep playing it. Because it was insane from pretty much everyone's perspective, but especially if you're a kid and you're just able to communicate with somebody else in the world on your screen in a video game. That was insane to me. Because I'd been playing like SpongeBob games, point and click adventure, find the object, but then I play World of Warcraft and my character levels up. It's customized to me. It has a name that I want it to have, and it was addictive. So I understand why people were addicted to it back then. I think I was too when I was a kid. I remember in kindergarten, I started when I was about 4 years old, and that doesn't mean I was good. That means I just walked around in the world. I remember I was in kindergarten, and I wasn't paying attention to anything that was happening because I was thinking about going home and playing World of Warcraft. Which probably wasn't very good for me at the time, but I turned out okay. I'm still playing it today. Funny story. I remember my dad had a Tauren warrior, I believe, and I took him to the orc starting zone because that's where I felt comfy at, because I never made it past the orc starting zone. He would let me ride around on his mounts, and in BC, when he got the Twilight Drake, I believe it was, he let me fly, and that was so cool. Being able to fly as a kid in the game was crazy. But yeah, I took him to the orc starting zone. And now that I think back on it, I feel like such an asshole, but I thought I was helping people. The mob that's at the end of the cave that you have to kill for one of the main quests of that area, I would kill it as soon as it spawns. And there was like a line of people forming. There were like 10 people waiting to kill this mob because I was just sitting there killing it over and over and over and over again. And this guy messaged me, and he called. I couldn't read very well, but he just called me a bunch of like rude names and stuff. My dad had to get on and apologize to everybody that was there because, you know, back then your reputation mattered, and being a max level hunter going back to the starting zone and killing shit for, you know, like 30 minutes sort of gets people's attention. But it turned out okay. Everyone understood, thankfully. There was an old machinima, if anybody knows what I'm talking about here, because I don't know where it was, that took place in that house that I was just at. And I can't remember what it was. Like this sad machinima where this person's family dies or something. I can't even remember. I can't remember. It must have been from like 2008 or 10. I don't know. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, just hit me up in the comments.
King's honor, friend.
It is fun though, and when I said that I think I already know what I'm going to do in regards to raids and dungeons, I think I'm gonna wait because it's fun to see your character progress. And I know Molten Core gear and AQ40 gear aren't exactly the peak of look as far as what is available now. But if I go from looking like this, you know, I look my level. I look like a level 29 character from Classic WoW. And I want to keep that aesthetic going. So I don't want to just have not done all the zones I can and then hop into Molten Core and then look like a decked out, you know, warrior in full tier. I think that's my plan. I'm not necessarily going to go after what was BIS back in the day because I'm playing ARMS anyway, and I think it was Fury that was used back then, so there's not very many BIS lists for ARMS. I'm just going to go after the warrior tier, even though I'm pretty sure the warrior tier is more for tanks, if I'm correct. And this is it. I wish I would have taken a screenshot here for the thumbnail, but I completely forgot to. I don't think there's a way to get back unless you do the quest again on a different character. But this is so cool. Usually I can't hold threat, but warriors are insane. So I was just able to hold threat on him this whole time, which made me feel like a badass. I was worried here. I thought I was going to die. But ignore pain and everything else in my kit just makes me almost unstoppable. That is one of my favorite quests. I love that. It's so cool. It makes you feel like the hero of Darkshire.
Well met.
But with that being said, it's time to go on a little adventure to my favorite place. It's time to go back to where we already were, I believe. This isn't the only time I'm gonna have to go back here. I left this in because this was a perfect example of what I was talking about before, but somehow I get away with it. So in the last episode, I mentioned that, you know, you get impatient and then you run through a line of mobs, they daze you, then you just die, then you have to walk back and spend more time doing that. I don't know how I managed to escape. It's just ignore pain, and the parry ability is just insane. And there we go, found the target. He's not too hard at all. I do think this part of Duskwood is where it starts to lose me a little bit. They're really cool. They're really cool quests, but I wish they would have been grouped together with other quests. Just because, I don't know if I picked them up wrong. I don't think I picked them up wrong. Because I know the Cata quests, how it was revamped is, you know, they come in groups. But this part is kind of, it's all really cool, but I wish there was just more to do while you're here. I don't care if it's picking stuff up or killing mobs. Yeah, I just feel you don't spend enough time in these really interesting areas. Like these catacombs. There's just so much stuff you could do here. But a bulk of the experience is already over by the time you get here. Just suppose sort of makes it like the finale. But really you just walk in here, you know, you kill a bunch of assistants, and then you kill the Morbid Fell guy. I was gonna jump up there, but I really decided against it. I did not think it was a good idea. I noticed all those mobs back there. And I know what their purpose is to prevent you from going around the other side. It's always funny when you come here as a max level character, trying to get maybe the Lore Master achievements or something, or whatever reason you have to be here, and you just go through that way, just move them all down. It doesn't even matter. But we are not max level. We're level 35 yet, so we're stuck doing it the right way. I don't know, maybe I will continue doing it the right way. Something I do when I'm in zones like that, or areas in zones, is just feel out how it would be to like roleplay there. I don't really roleplay, but I like to imagine myself in the world. And zones like that are just crazy. And here's going back, this is one of my favorite weapons. I keep this in my bank every time I get it. It just feels awesome. And here we are finishing up the Explorer achievement. But Duskwood has a lot of cool areas. And if you've never been to this one here, like smack dab in the center, I'd recommend giving it a check out. Because just look at it. It's just magnificent. It's so pretty. But that's pretty much it for Duskwood. I hope you all enjoyed. And next episode will be in Stranglethorn. Let's see where this takes us.